Wayne at Blue Frog Truffles is one of the pioneers, the stalwarts of truffles in New South Wales. He planted in 2003 and then replanted again in consecutive years as well. He's based down in Sutton, which is on a very similar latitude to Braidwood. So there's similarities between the truffles from Braidwood and certainly the truffles that Wayne produces. They're very aromatic and they have this kind of savouriness, which is either some notes of pipe tobacco, there could be some wood smoke there. There's also some sweeter notes as well, whether that be dark chocolate, maybe a little bit of kind of salted burnt caramel as well. The wine that I've paired with this particular truffle is the Creators Series Trackless Vineyard, their 2018 Pinot Noir. And again, I'm looking for really punchy aromatics, which I think this wine has. It's all fruit, spectrums of red fruit, spectrums of dark fruit, lots of spice, and just really showcases what it has initially on the nose. When you put it in your mouth, it's plump, it's got lots of flavour as well, and to me, the wine needs that flavour to make sure that it compares with the flavour of Wayne's truffle here. Durandara truffles are owned by Dick and Virginia, both trained microbiologists. Their country change from a life spent in hospitals was their farm close to Braidwood. Very ancient land down there, and the terroir is quite specific, and to me it produces a really powerful and aromatic expression of black truffle. As soon as you lift the cloche on this, it permeates through the air. Now, pipe tobacco, smoked charcuterie, even some sweeter notes like dark chocolate are very evident in the aromatics of that. It's very expressive. So to pair with that, I've paired quite an expressive Pinot Noir, especially aromatically. This is the Totini, the Yarrandu Vineyard 19 Pinot, which really jumps out of the glass at you. You get the fruit of that particular vineyard, which has been a mix of red and black fruits. There's lots of spice elements, and to me the inclusion of some whole bunches in the fermentation really adds to that kind of explosion of aromats. And what I've gone with here with this pairing is I've gone a really powerful aromatic truffle and a really powerful aromatic Pinot Noir, and that comparing each other will be a great marriage. Gail Kennedy is the founder of Elmsgate, which is where this amazing truffle comes from. A real kind of jump straight in your senses type of truffle, this one. Notes of kind of forest floor, polished leather, might be a little bit of kind of smoke there as well, some cured meats. It's a real kind of aromatically powerful truffle. The farm's grown organically and biodynamically, and the wine that I've matched with it is from Peppergreen Estate, and this is their single vineyard 2019 Pinot Noir. The reason I've paired this particular wine with the Eastgate truffle is simply because it has that aromatic power on the nose, which is very similar to that of the truffle. You put your nose in it, you smell red fruits, you smell a different array of kitchen spice, you smell a little bit of whole bunch character there, which if you like Negronis or Campari, that bitterness you get from Italian bitters is evident in the aromatics. And it's a real compare what we're doing here. The same aromatics in the truffle, the same aromatics in the Pinot, put them together and you can really see how that marriage will work. So Hidden Valley Farm is run by Frank and Averia, and they've kind of, I guess, got a little story of best of both worlds. They were heavily involved in corporate business in Europe, bought the farm between Sydney and Canberra, and COVID brought them back home. I guess for a lot of us it inspired us a sea change or a tree change, so to speak. Their truffles there have this amazing aromatic presence to them. They're almost sweet. There might be some chocolate there. Also get that kind of really sweet wood smoke that you get from, say, applewood and things like that. The wine that I've chosen to pair with this is the House Block Pinot Noir, the 19 vintage from Centennial Vineyards in Bowral. And the reason I've chosen this one is it is towards the lighter, more elegant spectrum of Pinot Noir, but it's got this amazing acidity. And to me, the sweetness that comes across in the aromas of this truffle, the red fruit characters that correspond in the particular Pinot Noir, to me is where this match really comes together. And grading that over pasta or something like that and a glass of that Centennial Pinot, I think we'd all be in a much happier place. Trish and Raina are behind the Air de Wombat, and this is the truffle that I've got in front of me. They're based in Bungendore in the Southern Highlands, and the landscape is quite harsh, but what it's produced is a truffle that's got this amazing kind of aromatic power behind it. Notes of kind of polished leather, maybe some cured meat in there, along with kind of notes of freshly tilled earth. In terms of matching a wine to this one, I've gone with the Artemis 2019 Pinot Noir. It's subtle on the nose, but the trick to me with this Pinot and this truffle match is that the Artemis has this generosity of red fruit, which to me is very important to match the kind of power and majesticness of this particular truffle. I think it's a real kind of comparing the weight and the power of both the truffle and the wine, and that's the key to this match. One you just can't stop smelling. Now, Patrick and Tanya bought Robinson's truffles in 2019. To them, he's a love for hospitality, her a microbiologist, so they're combining this love of science and food together. And this is the truffle I've got in front of me, and it's aromatic, it's detailed, it's fine. It's one that you can just take in that aroma all day. The wine that I've paired with this is Southern Highlands 2021 Pinot, so it's young, and this is from Dawning Day Farms. Very small production, only 190 cases of this made. And to me, the pairing with this Robinson truffle is all about comparing that delicateness that's in the truffle and is in the Pinot Noir. It's a young wine, but it's not a light wine by any means. And it just has a presence, and it has heaps of detail and aromatic and finesse in not only the nose itself, but also the palate, and most importantly the wine's tannins. And to me, this is a really exciting pairing. This beautiful truffle I have in front of me is from Robinson Truffles in the Southern Highland, owned by Patrick and Tanya, although the farm was 15 years old already when they purchased it. Interesting background for those two, lovely people. Patrick, hospitality, his son's a chef, and Tanya, a science background. So they've really kind of enveloped science, food, passion all together. It was home to the biggest ever recorded truffle in the Southern Hemisphere, so they know how to grow them. And when you smell this, it's really nuanced, it's really delicate, it's really detailed. And I've tried to mirror that in the wine that I've chosen, which is the Banduli Estate 2021 Pinot Noir. It's a lighter style of Pinot, but it's got such aromatic delicateness. It's got real nuance and it's got real character. And to me, when we're looking at a kind of elegant truffle and an elegant wine, to me it's a match made in heaven. Now the truffle I have here in front of me, and what an amazing aroma. This comes from Andy and Anna at Truffle Barn. Now it's harvested by their dog Cyril. These guys are quite unique because they've gone off grid and they're really into using solar energy, recycling their own rainwater, and all of their truffles are grown organically as well. Some of the trees that they have planted are a little bit different. So they've got Italian stone pine and French cedar as well. Now the truffle to me is really aromatic, but it's quite delicate as well. And the wine that I've paired with it is the Pinot Noir from Cherry Tree Hill, 2019 vintage. And much like the truffle, it's aromatic, the wine, but it's quite delicate and quite ethereal in style. It's got all those red fruit characters that you associate with Pinot Noir. It's got some lovely Chinese fire spice notes as well, and the tannins, most importantly in this wine, are fine and long, and they only add to that elegance. So to me, when you put the two together, you're looking at kind of comparing that elegance and delicacy that I get in the truffle, and will certainly get in the Pinot Noir as well. Anna and Andy run Truffle Barn in Cannon Lee, and the truffles they produce have this subtlety to the aroma. These guys farm off the grid, so use solar for electricity, recycle all their rainwater. Cyril, their dog, is the one who goes out and finds all the truffles. And pairing a wine with this, I've gone something a little bit different. I've got, from Juadja Estate, I've got a fortified Semillon. So Semillon which has had a neutral grape spirit added to it and then aged in cask. So it's a sweet wine. I guess in years past we would have called this a white port, however with European legislation we cannot say that anymore. So it's simply known as a fortified Semillon. And look, you may be a little bit curious as to truffles being a savoury ingredient, how it works with a sweet wine, but in the world of food and wine matching, pairing and contrasting sweet and savoury works really well together. The wine to me has aromas and flavours of honey, of marmalade, of kind of candied nuts or praline, and I find in the aroma of the truffle you do get these sweet elements as well, and whether that be kind of like yellow box honey, whether there be again a grilled nut praline character coming across, and I think they can pair really well together. The other thing is that if the truffle was in, say, a cheese or a dessert, to then pair it with this particular wine would be an absolute match made in heaven. So don't discount the fact that sweet wines or fortified wines like this one can work really well with the savouriness of truffles. Damien from Viva La Truffles, he has a mixed farming enterprise down in Bungendore in the Southern Highlands, but he's had hazelnut and chestnut trees planted since 2005 to produce his truffles. They have this kind of captivating aroma to them, and the aromatics kind of span this savoury aspect all into these sweet aspects as well. I get a lot of kind of pipe tobacco, I get smoked charcuterie, I get sweeter notes of like hazelnuts and praline, aromas like that. There's a lot going on when you put your nose into the cloche of this particular truffle. The wine I've chosen to pair with this is the Tertini Nebbiolo, the 2018 vintage. And look, Nebbiolo and black truffles have quite a pairing history, and they go very well together. Mainly because the Nebbiolo grape, its aromatics are full of savoury characters as well. So tar and roses are the two iconic aromas to define Nebbiolo, but it also has that kind of red cherry, cranberry, kind of savoury red fruit character. And to me, the aromatic power, but also the complexity of the nose of that Tertini Nebbiolo is perfectly compared with not only the power of the aromats of this truffle, but also the complexity, the number of different smells that you can take up, and that is just it's a mouth-watering combination that just calls out for